It seems appropriate that I wear these, or at least that I have them available while I talk about the next woman who changed my life. I want to give a big thank you to somebody else who will never see this video, I'm sure, but her name is Ann Holke. I worked for many years for a typing service, and after I had worked there for 7 years, I left that job and I was looking for another similar job, and I went to a company that was run by Ann Holke. And I walked in, I told her what my qualifications were, she pointed me to a typewriter, and I worked there for another 7 years. Ann was a really unusual person. She was a hard-drinking, chain-smoking, voracious appetite for food with the more fat and calories, the better. Give her a slab of steak and a big mound of mashed potatoes, and she was in seventh heaven. Gravy, too. Don't forget the gravy. She also was, I keep saying was, she's still alive, but she's not here anymore. She also was an indefatigable worker. She was driven to work. She just had her 70th birthday, and she's now cut back to, what would be a fraction, to a fraction of her normal schedule, which would be more than a full schedule for most people. What she did was her specialty is medical transcription, and she'd worked in hospitals for a long time. But then she opened this typing service, and she typed anything and everything, but she also still continued to do medical transcription. And so I got into this crazy world of Ann's office, and one day she handed me a tape and a medical dictionary and said, "Here, transcribe this." Well, I thought I was a good typist. I thought I had a decent knowledge of medical terminology. I'd watched all the doctor shows, whatever. And I started transcribing. Oh my God, it seemed like I was looking up every single word. But she was there. Most medical transcriptionists go through some sort of a program to learn. My program was to sit in the office with Ann, to look up words in the medical dictionary if I didn't understand them, and if I couldn't find them in the dictionary, to ask Ann. And over a course of time, slowly over a course of time, I was able to do these orthopedic transcriptions. Then she handed me another specialty, and I discovered that when you switch from orthopedics to internal medicine, the terminology is completely different. It's like learning a whole new language. I eventually got competent enough that she started sending me out to fill in for transcriptionists who were out sick or on vacation. So I began hopping around to all the medical offices in town. I was sort of the town fill-in transcriptionists. And it was the best education for me because I learned so much. I'd always loved medical transcription anyway. I mean, not medical transcription, but just medical stuff. I knew I was not cut out to be a doctor or a nurse, and I didn't know that there was any kind of an allied field that I could be involved with. But thanks to Ann, that became my field. She sold the business, and I taught her replacement, the woman who bought the business. I taught her medical transcription. Her replacement decided after a couple of years that she was going to close down the business, and at that time I was doing fill-in work for an OBGYN clinic, and I told them that I was going to be out of a job and suggested that they hire me as their in-house transcriptionist. Well, I worked for that office for 10 years, and the last 2 years I was its office manager. I went on to manage another medical office and left that after a few years, but medical transcription has really been my life for such a long time. It's something that I really enjoy, and I'm glad to have this skill, and I would never have this skill if it weren't for Ann Holke. So, Ann, you'll never see this, but I'm very appreciative of all the time that you took to teach me medical transcription, even if I do still have a stack of envelopes waiting for me to transcribe. But I really love it, and now I'm going to get back to doing it. Thank you very much, Ann. You're number 5 or number 6 on my list. I only have one more to go, and I'm saving the best for the last.